Okay, so we're live from Arabia now. We got Tim's. Actually, sorry, we got FFNEZ in the blue trunks as the Greeks up against Tim's. The red trunks is the Romans. So it's a big map, but it's potentially very rushable because you've got to go on the low ground for your huntables. You've really only got berries and a couple of golds and a couple of stone mines up here. Plenty of wood though, and plenty of space for a good market line come late game. Really only got to wall in a couple of choke points here. Tim's got a pretty crappy early hunt, but it's on the high ground at least. So he's got his engineer parked over here at the side. Probably wants to bring him up and get on there. FF, a bit of a more normal hunt. Normally you have got a hunt here. And this lake's either over here or further over. So it'll be a bit delayed hunt there for Tim's, but he's getting the early Castellum. He's just going on the berries for now. He'll be able to transition to that hunt as a bit of a follow-up. FF just on the hunt and on the wood, so he'll be looking at trying to age up pretty quickly here, I think. Tim's has actually got the wood he needs for hunting dogs and a hunt. He could go a better storehouse than that too, I think, and get picker's gloves ASAP. He can definitely afford it. FF's gone for an extremely quick age up here, only 11 villages. Considering it's been a bit delayed here, so his stone income's not very good. Bit of a rough start for Tim's here. He's getting picker's gloves. FF has eventually gone for hunting dogs as well. Yeah, his stone income's not looking great. He's overgathering. Oh, he's cutting a bit of food and getting barracks now. So might be able to squeeze out, what, 2 or 3 hypaspists? Needs to start gathering gold though. Don't actually know where this guy's going. Tim's just doing a bit of scouting at the moment. I don't think he's actually aware that FF's over here on the hunt. FF's just getting a single hypaspist at the moment. That plus the villagers should be enough to defend. We get conditioning as well, just in case. Let's just start gathering a little bit of gold too. Getting some stone behind this. Tim's has got early spears, aging up, not going for any stone at this point. Probably needs to make sure he can get a second military production building ASAP if he's going to try this, because FF's going to be able to go for a TC pretty soon. He is going to get a range first though. I think he suspects that something is up. Don't know if Tim's is going to be able to get FF Scout here if he's going to lose his own. So he does retreat. He's going to start gathering some stone for his TC now. FF housed for the moment. His second TC is going to be delayed a little bit because he's gone for the range and gone for a barracks of his own. He's got a pair of hypaspists at the moment. Praetorium already for Tim's. Seeing some talks being made here, which further is delaying that town centre for FF, but Tims has got a long way to go for his as well. So 17 to 19 bills in favour of FF because Tims is housed at the moment. So there we go, a couple more villagers in the queue for him. Cool looking shield these guys have got. FF can finally afford his TC. I wonder where he's going to actually put it here. If he's going to be safe or if he's going to try and secure some resources on the low ground. And start creeping towards Tims here. Bill Gap is still about 2 villagers. Start getting to Decurions if you can get a bit more gold here. Got too much stone at the moment, so if he can cut that stone gathering right now, he can, you know, have those guys in the gold, maintain that Decurion production, or even pick up his wood gathering. He wants to try and kill this Toxotes as quickly as possible if he can, because they've got such a small health door compared to the Haspis, while dealing a pretty comparable amount of damage. Yeah, he probably wanted to get on top of the Tox ASAP there, actually. If you can maintain the Legionary Decurion production, it gets very difficult for FF because he's only got a couple of spears here. You don't want to get stuck fighting the spears like that, though. Bit of damage taken off already. Well, FF is doing a good job trying to kite that out. So he does go for the low ground TC. Tim's going for a high ground one. Tims is probably best off actually trying to get it out here just to try and secure this hunt or the berries. A couple of Decurions in the mix though. If you can win an early fight, it really relieves a lot of pressure on him. But he is housed at the moment as well. Lagzilla is rearing its head. Sorry FF, but Lagzilla is returning. I suppose we got Rotten spectating too, so that probably doesn't help, adding in another connection, because like Tims and I are in the same country and then FF's in Peru. But then Rotten's over in Greece, so it just adds another level of connectivity complexity. So 2 production buildings apiece still at this stage. FF's trying to bait out fighting Tims in a really awkward position where the Decurions can't get on top of the Toxotes here. He's going to afford a lot more production here, so he's going to go for an auxiliary camp. He can probably throw down another Castellum as well. Ah, yeah, we've got another barracks here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's a second barracks there. So FF's up to triple. Soon to be 4 production buildings down. Slingers are going to be helpful here because then you're not relying on having to get past the spearmen to actually kill Toxotes, but at the same time you do want to make sure you've got enough frontline you can just kill them. The town center able to get a bit of damage done there. But this will help Tims a little bit if he can just wear down a couple of infantry before the Castellum gets taken out. Just trying to bait those spears back. He does get one of them, does a bit more damage to a couple more. Struggling for food a little bit now, but he's shifted over here to the berries. They're backing off for the moment. Slinger production, another Castellum. Possibly even go for a second Praetorium or second auxiliary camp if you're really able to keep the tempo up and just keep fighting. You know, making sure neither player is particularly able to get max military, so having 5 or 6 Decurions stays really scary. Because the bigger this mass gets, the harder it gets for the Roman player, I find, just because the Toxotes are just a better generalist damage unit compared to the Slingers. Like, the slingers are great if they can focus Tox. Well, the Tox, obviously they got to focus infantry, but when you're when you're attacking cavalry or just non-counters, like for slingers when they're hitting infantry as well, you're just not dealing much damage, and it just gets really hard for the skirmisher and slinger civs to keep up off an age 2 comp. Other than maybe Norse, because you can just basically print cavalry instead of having to get skirmishers. FF will be able to get a couple of villages down here, which is not good. Tims was probably in a situation where he could fight pretty well here. He's got a lot of legionaries. He's got a few slingers now. 30 villages to 44 in favour of FF at the moment. Tim's trying to tank on with the Decurions, which is not a bad idea. Take a lot of range damage there. Spear champ now. So more pierce armor. Not a huge deal in this matchup, but massive in others. The snare is really good though, because it really makes it impossible to back out with the Decurions once they get snare locked, and even, you know, makes it harder for them to just get on top of whatever they were trying to target. Tim's going for a watch post here. Probably best off with it over here actually, just because it lets him know when FF moves out to over there. A lot less safe than trying to dive under his town center to kill berries gatherers. FF get a couple of kills for free there. Just getting one of his own. Idlers here for Tims. He really needs to make sure he's got everything gathering, because he is in a bit of a vil deficit at the moment, 36 to 48. Army sizes are pretty even, slightly favouring Tims actually at this point. He does have that ranged armour as well, so he could look at taking a fight, because FF has not got any armoury techs at this stage. He's waiting for Hypaspis champion to kick in, and Tox is actually going to be the biggest thing. He hasn't got Tox champ on the way. But if you can get that, it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. I think Tims is probably best off. Oh, he might have left it a bit long now, but he was probably best off trying to fight there. What do you got there? 44, 59 versus what's that? 49, 51, and then 21. Well, yeah, 72 Millpop versus, yeah. It would have been a good idea for Tims to take a fight there. Now it might be getting a bit hairy because we've got upgrades starting to finish off for FF. He is getting Peltus as well. It's mostly Tox here for our Greek player. So if the Decurions can get on top of those, it's going to be really ugly for FFNEZ here. It's not a particularly quick comp to retreat with. He's backed up quite a way now, and it's not good for Tims to just chase. He's going to lose a Decurion or two from that. This villager, hero villager, going to save the army. Focus me instead. FF adding caravan line. Good for the economy. Getting the age 3 TC pretty quickly. Now FF trying to fight into a choke. The Tims' Decurions at the rear of his army there is not ideal. Just really needs to either retreat to the base or just take the fight at this point, I think. FF's starting to get armory upgrades of his own now. The Decurions need to get around on top of the Toxotes, and the Slingers are... Here we go, they're starting to focus down the Toxotes. front line for Tims is actually holding up pretty well at the moment. Can he afford to maintain it? Has he got enough production? And he hasn't got enough to really thin out that Toxotes ball by the looks of it. Stutter a little bit here. So the wood gatherer is having to retreat now. Tims is in a bit of a hole too because he's starting to really run out of food. He needs to get onto the those low ground hunts. He's just run out of space on the map for easy food gathering. There is this set of berries here, but I'm not sure if he's even aware if that it's there. Age 4 on the way for FFNEZ. He's really taking up quite quickly now. Tims has got so many idlers. He could just have them all chopping just to try and throw up that food eco. I don't know if he realizes he's got food here. Here we go. He's just going to start gathering whatever he can at this point. Got plenty of gold in the bank. Here we go. He's onto the berries at the top there. There's another one over here. Oh yeah, he does know about this one here. His entire eco is just transitioned to gathering food now, which is fair enough because it's been pretty dry for that. His units are hungry at this point. They're all featherweights now. Even his legionaries and his centurions, man. They've lost a couple of kilos. Well, a few decurions have snuck into the base. Gonna get a little bit of damage done. Oh, not a huge amount. Here we go. Tim's just going to keep bringing them forward. Just try and get a villager or two. Just be a bit of a pest. Tie up a bit of attention. This FF is really starting to come knocking at the gates. The slinger just gets torn apart by the peltus there. It's a lot of villages for Tims to be losing here because he's already down. He's at 40. He's at 38 to 36 to 73 now. It's looking really dire. The Curions have been a bit of a pest, but having to retreat. Otherwise, the peltus or the hoplites will pick them off. Slingers are doing their job for the moment, but Tims is at a big army disadvantage. Curions not actually finding the market line. But FF's not fighting with his whole army yet either. So these legionaries, once they get picked off, it's going to be really rough for Tims, who's still stuck in age 2 compared to FF in age 4 at the moment. I hope he's going to be able to hold here. There's not a lot of front line for him though. There's not a lot of slingers left either. What's happening with these Decurions? They're coming all the way back home, I think. And they could have been dealing a bit of damage here. If they had got on top of that gold mine or something, it probably could have helped. Just put FF under a bit of pressure here. Legionaries just fighting naked against Toxotes is not great. Tim's nearly age 3, so he could just wait and make Ekes here. He's had his Decurions come back, but he's only got the 4 of those against like 50 Tox, 35 Toxotes. More hoplites coming into the front line for them. I think that may be it. He's running out of gold now that he switched everything over to food, and he needs to make sure he's able to correct that. Get these guys back onto the gold mines. He's a little bit slow with that. There we go, he's got a bit of gold in the bank. Oh, there we go. One of his upgrades got cancelled out of the building, I think. He's got a bit of gold in the bank to spend, but I don't know if he's got enough to turn this one around at all, because there's even Ballista in the mix here. FF's not put T1mzZ eco under pressure at all over here, but it's just slow pushing at this point. Getting Greek Fire, which should be pretty handy. Extra damage against buildings for all his ranged. Well, not all of his range, but at least Tox and Gastras. Be looking to transition to mostly Gastra at this point. There you go, the hoplites going in. Tim's just can't seem to stabilize at this point. He's only on 39 villages to the 80 for FF at this point. A few units he's getting out are just getting picked off quickly. And GG is the call. Yeah, getting put under a bit of pressure there. Early hurt Tim's. Wasn't the world's best hunt though. Yeah, GG guys. FF taking the game there.